Waiting for more people to sign on. I just want to let everybody know the resources that we have going on. As always, ACQC does have food pantry Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Recommended to get here at least an hour early. That's at 6207 Woodside Avenue, ACQC Woodside. Also, we have food pantry tomorrow with Love Wins Food Pantry at 11:30 a.m. That's at Friends Tavern on 78th Street and Roosevelt Avenue. You can come to that. Saturday, we have two events going on Saturday. Love Wins Part 2 is doing an event on 83rd Street and Roosevelt Avenue at Voces Latinas next to the UPS. Usually distribution there starts between 12 and 1. As always, get there a little earlier. I unfortunately will not be participating in that one because I'm doing a Free Clothing Queens event that same Saturday from 12 to 3, and that's going to be on 72nd Street and Broadway here in Jackson Heights. There's another event going on by NICE, N-I-C-E. I forget what it stands for, but something about immigrant coalition, helping each other out, helping the community. So they're going to be providing free food, free vaccine information. I think they're going to help people get vaccine appointments. And of course, I decided to butt in there because I love and support the cause. So I'm going to be there with a table giving out free clothing. So that's 12 to 3, 72nd Street and Broadway. Sunday, Free Clothing Queens, again, will be out there. I won't have my table out as usual because I'm doing the Saturday one, but we'll have a crew on 79th Street, 34th Avenue, Jackson Heights, giving out free clothes 12 to 3, as well as Queens Boulevard and 46th Street. Our Sunnyside crew will be out there with the table as well. And any other resources that we should chat about before we move on? Community fridges. You went to the community fridge?
Yeah, I actually, thanks to you, I knew about community fridges. I knew about because of the news. I saw one time our state senator, what's the name? I forgot. Jessica Ramos. Jessica Ramos.
Hi, Jessica. If you're
She
watching,
had,
I have her on
yes.
Facebook.
Hey, Jessica. I saw that their fridge was vandalized.
That's right. That's the Junction
Boulevard. That was last year. And then I think they placed a new one or they repair it. And so last week I went to place some food to the one at 77th Street and Woodside Avenue, the one that you suggested me. It was pretty, it was in bad shape. It was a little dirty, no power, but people kept going, getting in and picking food. So, which tells us that things are working. The project is working.
Oh, yeah.
People is really collecting food from there. I went to the one on 80th Street in Northern Boulevard.
The busiest one.
The one by the Queensboro, the restaurant.
Right outside the restaurant.
I have to say, the power was provided by the restaurant. Right. So thank you, the Queensboro, for that nice gesture. And the fridge is a business fridge.
Yes.
So with double door, I saw American cheese. I saw meat, like meat inside, or some also cottage cheese. I went to leave a chocolate cake that day, and I went to all three places.
That must have been a lot of cake you had.
Because because the other day
got cake,
at the church, at my husband's church, a lady came with a cart and placed 3 full boxes of food, like prepared food.
Nice.
And sometimes people give us food, but we can't. We have a food pantry, but not for prepared food, like your program,
exactly,
right? It's not prepared food; it's only groceries. So I said, what I do with these 4 cakes? So we ate one, and the other one, and the rest, all 3. I went to the one at 77 in Woodside, the one at the Queensboro 80th in Northern Boulevard, and to Jessica's the state senators located in Junction Boulevard and Northern Boulevard, behind the TD Bank.
Junction and Northern.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to that one actually. That one's a little further out from me, but usually I go to the 80th one, 77th Street. And I recently did a food pantry with Corona EMS, and they have a food pantry right across the street from it. I don't remember the exact address, but if you Google Corona EMS, look for the address and just cross the street, and you will see that their community fridge is right there. It's in front of a bodega. It's powered by the local bodega there. And it's also a very nice fridge, well-kept fridge. What we do is when we work at the food pantries, if there's ever any leftover food boxes, we empty out the boxes and we immediately transport that food to the fridges so that nothing goes to waste. But of course, local neighborhood people as well. Say if you've gone to the food pantries and you have an excess of milk, eggs, etc., and you know you're not going to finish it yourself and you want to share with your community, you bring it to the fridge. Or if you've just gone to food shopping and you have a little too much and you just want to donate, you can bring it to the fridge. So it's a really wonderful program. I'm really glad they started doing it. A few of the members that volunteer with me at Love Wins also help run that program, and it's really, really nice. So I'm really happy that that's a thing going on, and I hope that it lasts for a long time, even post-pandemic, because it's just a nice gesture.
It is.
I think, to want to help out your community, and it cuts back on waste, which is another topic we're going to talk about today, cutting back on waste and recycling.
Yeah. Just one thing about the milk.
Yeah.
Any perishables, just make sure that the fridge is connected.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if you're gonna put milk and the fridge is not connected, it's gonna go bad very easily, and that can actually harm people.
That's true.
So, very good thing. About waste. Well, speaking of numbers in food waste, United States is one of the is the country that more food is wasted in the world because of lawsuits. Basically, schools cannot give away their food, the leftovers. Restaurants cannot, or they decide not to give their food away because they can get sued. If somebody get the food from the trash, that somebody from the church told me that. If they find the food, they put Clorox, they put bleach on their food when they waste it, because they don't want people to get into the garbage can and eat it, because if they get poisoned, they can sue the school.
Wow.
That's not fair.
It's sad. It's sad.
So maybe just not put Clorox in it so that people can...
No. They do it so they don't eat it.
Right, I know.
Because if they do, and they get poisoned by the food, they can sue the school.
Wow. That is
So,
ridiculous.
It's
That is
ridiculous. But it's the culture of lawsuits.
Oh, man.
Yeah. In our countries, probably we will be happy to go to the garbage and find that and eat it, because it's
Absolutely.
10-minute rule.
I've heard of
a
that
1 hour
being a
rule
thing.
that works for us.
Yes, there's something called dumpster diving that I've heard about, which I really liked the idea of, but I've never actually have partaken. But there are a group of people that are very much about recycling and not letting things go to waste. They go dumpster diving, and they go to restaurants or stores, bakeries, etc. They know they're going to throw away food at the end of the night that they couldn't sell that day because they can't sell it the next day. And they'll go and they'll pick the food out of the garbage, like you said, 5-second rule, and eat
But I
it.
said 1 hour rule.
1 hour. 1 hour rule. That's fine. Listen, whatever your time clock tells you.
That's my rule.
I think that's great. Like I said, I haven't done it. I would be open to doing it as long as I knew that dumpster was clean and if it was laying on the top, not touching any caca on the side.
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, I love that idea. But
Speaking of garbage,
Yeah.
United States contributes with 33%. 33% of all the world's garbage. So the United States produces 33%.
it's a big chunk.
That's a third.
A
Yeah.
third
Of the world?
of
Yeah,
the
of the
world's
world.
garbage.
And we're this big compared to
United
everyone else.
States.
Yeah.
And particularly in New York, we don't have landfills. And we don't have also, we export our trash, actually. It's very interesting. All the things, all the infrastructure that works, makes New York possible is thanks to other states or even other countries. Because the garbage is exported to New Jersey to be incinerated. It's exported to Ohio, Pennsylvania, or Virginia, because they have room to actually put all the garbage in landfills. And I don't know if you guys know that some states in some other countries, I mean, European countries, first world countries, like so many people say it, they export their garbage to African countries.
What?
Because it's cheaper to send it there to their landfills instead of processing it or having to treat it in their own
That
countries.
feels kind of shady to me. So Africa is the New Jersey of Europe. That's shady.
There is a documentary. It's very interesting the way they waste. You can find syringes, needles, medical equipment as well that was not treated appropriately. They just receive it for the money to get the money and trying to fund themselves. So it's pretty sad. Speaking of waste, also, do you know that the subway cars that they are not longer operative? They throw it in the ocean.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That
Yeah,
I
but
knew.
that has actually that's a good thing.
Because the fish have somewhere to go.
They create a coral,
Oh.
like a
Yeah.
coral.
Coral.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like
Coral
recycling
reef.
then.
Yeah.
It's not harmful, like the gases or the oil that's in
It's
there.
all-
I'm
it's
assuming
all emptied
cleaned
out.
out. Oh, okay.
It's prepared. The subway car is prepared
no idea.
to be thrown. So then that create a habitat for fish for sea life.
My question is, I know in Mexico, off the coast of Cancun, and a few other wonderful places in this world, they provide underwater diving tours. They have these underwater statues and beautiful things. Where can I get a tour of underground subway cars? Because that sounds awesome. Although you probably can't really see anything off the Hudson River. With
I was
that
going to
dark
say,
underwater.
the United States doesn't really have
But-
that clean of a water.
But that's, yeah, you know what? I'm really, really glad that we're doing this topic because I know zero about this. So I feel like I'm getting an education here, which I'm really, really enjoying. And if anybody out there, if this is news to you as well, please feel free to chime in, ask questions, comments. If you're knowledgeable about this, please share your knowledge. That's always welcome. Do we have any comments right now?
No, not yet. I did want to add though.
Yeah.
I know that back in the day when I was but a sperm, they used to use Staten Island as a landfill,
I heard that.
which makes sense because they
They're
voted
shady.
for Trump, so they're trash there anyway. But I'm
You're so
saying
shady.
no politics, my
You're
bad.
so shady. My God.
Yes. And Bronx too. I think they used to use Bronx. Don't talk about the Bronx. I'm from Bronx.
Yeah.
New
used
Jersey,
to
I
be.
feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah, Jersey,
actually.
Staten Island, the Bronx. Yeah.
The situation with New York City now is because the square feet is so expensive that it doesn't worth it because
Makes sense.
they prefer to use it for development instead of landfills.
No, that makes
Basically,
perfect
that's
sense.
cost
Yeah,
benefit.
money.
Yeah, it's interesting. In my trip to Vancouver, I remember I learned how to rinse my trash. So all the recyclables there is the regulations has asked you to rinse the recyclables. So to take all the food, even wash it with soap,
Yeah.
and then you can throw into the recyclables. And I was trying to make sense from that, and so they said, well, you have to think of the sanitation workers. They prefer to work with clean
course.
trash
Makes
instead
sense.
of dirty
I
trash.
don't blame them.
I said, well, that's very considered.
Yeah.
And also because that also helps not attracting
Bugs.
rats, bugs,
Critters of any kind.
cats, or things like that. So that's what I do here. And I try
Dumpster
to teach.
divers,
I do that. No, so if you grabbing my garbage in my recyclables, you will see that smells actually nice.
So you have the cleanest garbage.
The cleanest
in all
garbage.
of NYC.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's very
Yeah.
considerate.
But one time I got fined because my husband I tried to get him educated on that, but he didn't put the right bag, and they fined us with $25 for
Oh.
not using a recycling bag for recycling products. We
Vancouver?
no, here in New York.
Oh my goodness.
In New York, so he put it in the black bag.
Yeah.
They realized it was all recyclable, and they fined us with
You're
25.
supposed to put it in the little blue bags or the
Yes,
clear
or
bags.
clear bag. So
Yeah.
that's where we're gonna be talking on Monday.
Yes.
A lot of facts, and this was just a sneak peek
Yeah.
for you.
I'm intrigued. I can't wait to hear more.
Ooh, I have a list of things. Also,
Yay.
Ricky gave me
Prepare.
more hints. So Monday we're gonna be talking about the things that not everybody knows, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And you're all welcome to join us as well. This is via Zoom that we do our weekly Monday 6:30 p.m. Zoom meetups. So if you want to get an invitation, please drop your email or private message me or JC, MP Queens 19, or Ricky at MP Queens. And yeah, just let us know that you want to get involved in the conversation.
We will drop the link in the comment area.
There you go.
Promise.
That too. We're gonna say something, Ricky.
I was gonna say, you know who loves to recycle in New York City that I noticed a lot in Queens?
JC.
Yes. Little Asian ladies. Have you noticed how they go around with their bags? And I love them. And they're so, if you give them some plastic bottles, they're just so happy.
Absolutely.
Because, that's like a nickel. So if you give them money, they're all happy.
Consider
about
me
that.
an Asian lady at heart, because I do that as well.
Did you
I
know
love
that
doing
if you
that.
flatten the can, it doesn't work?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It has to be
Yes,
there.
you have to be able to read
The
the
shape.
little.
Yep.
You have to keep the
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah.
But that's still being recycled, but not for them
Absolutely.
to get money back.
Absolutely.
I've been making coins doing that recycling during the pandemic. I was so bored. I was going out like early in the morning on a weekend, 5, 6 in the morning, bicycling,
Yep.
and I would bike through parks, and I started noticing that people would leave all these beer cans and
Yep.
sodas and bottles, and I was like, I'm gonna start collecting these because I didn't like to see the waste, the garbage, and then I was like, I can make some money off of this. So every weekend I would go out. I'd be bicycling, which is good for, health. And I was cleaning up the environment, which is good for the environment. And I was making some money out of it. And I'm having fun doing it. It was cute. It was
It's
fun.
a win-win situation.
Yeah. But on the topic of Asian ladies, thank you, Ricky, for that segue.
So you were telling me something related to what the situations with the violence, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling a certain type of way
I
about
saw
this.
the news. I saw the news about that.
What have you heard?
There were some reports from the police that on Chinatown there were some attacks. Also, there is some sort of aggression towards the Asian community in general. And what is that about?
Well, this has unfortunately been an ongoing thing. Of course, we know that America is a racist place. This is just a fact of life, and this is what a lot of minorities have to deal with, and this has been ongoing. But we all know that after the start of the pandemic, and with certain people promoting it as the Kung Flu virus or the Chinese virus, and using all these xenophobic and racist slurs, that it's triggered the already existing racism in the country. And there's been a lot of attacks, and the most recent and the most tragic so far happened, 2-3 days ago, Ricky?
Yeah.
Where six Asian women working in massage parlors were attacked in 3 different massage parlors outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And if that wasn't disturbing enough...
But this is not only in New York.
No, honey, this is all over the USA. So this is the most recent. There was a massacre.
What's the reason of that? What's the motivation?
Allegedly, what they don't have proof yet, but the young murderer, let's just call him
21-year-old
21-year-old
white man.
murderer, assassin. He is going through sex addiction, and he's having some problems with religious views and his sex addiction. And he had a gun control, #gun control, and he went on a spree.
He was
also
having
on his
a
way-
bad day.
Right.
And this was the outcome of his bad day, was the official first story by the police department outside of Atlanta, Georgia. So it kind of adds insult to injury, adds salt to the wound. It's like, what about the bad day of the victims and their families?
That's why they went to the massage parlor to let go of their bad day. You go there to have a good day.
A good day, right? Exactly. So yeah, it's really sad that this is going on in America right now. We had a vigil for it last night in Jackson Heights, which was really beautiful and really touching. Out of respect for the families that lost their family members that are grieving, as well as just to promote equality and just face the facts and see what we can do to end this racism. Is terrible, but as a person of color and as a queer person, I have to be honest, this triggers some kind of PTSD in me when I hear my Asian friends talking about how they're scared to leave the house, how they're fearful for their lives. I saw a Facebook comment this morning by one of my friends saying that her 75-year-old mother is terrified to leave the house because she doesn't want to get attacked or worse, killed. So the whole family is suffering. Imagine your mother, your grandmother being fearful to leave the house because of the very real possibility they can get attacked. And it really makes me think back to the Pulse nightclub incident in Miami several years ago. I remember feeling exactly that kind of way. I feel like just me existing, being out in the world, being out in public, could be made victimized, be killed, etc. And another similarity that strikes me and tears me apart is how the police and the media are very quick to turn it around. No, it wasn't a hate crime against Asians. No, it wasn't a hate crime against gays. When any smart, logical thinking person can see that it obviously is. With the Pulse nightclub shooting, they were like, no, he wasn't triggering a gay club. He was just, what was the excuse they used? He was confused in his own sexuality or something. It was self-loathing. So you self-loathe. You don't go out and kill an entire nightclub of people. They were trying to be like, oh, he was a Muslim terrorist. No, he wasn't a Muslim terrorist. He may have been a Muslim descent, but he was out there killing gay people. He was a gay basher. He was, anti-gay.
And those, that statement was made without an investigation?
Right.
Well,
because he was Muslim, so they wanted to put him all.
Oh yeah.
Put him in a box, like, it was the religion that did it, not this individual.
Right. Correct. And yeah, I'm seeing similarities with this person. They're trying to say that
So sad.
the lone wolf syndrome. Oh, he was just a lone wolf. He was having a bad day. Well, you go out and do something about it. You don't go out and murder people, and you don't justify it. How insulting is that to the victims and their families?
And it was Cherokee County Sheriff Captain Jay Baker is the one that has been downplaying the racial component. He didn't want to release that it was 6 out of 8 people that died were Asian.
And he's saying that because reportedly they asked the murderer if it was race related, and they said no, and they just took his word for it without looking at the real facts and seeing what is obvious and blatant. And also, this sheriff, he came under fire, under scrutiny on Facebook and social media, deservedly so. And they went back and backtracked his Facebook 1 year ago, and he was posting anti-Asian rhetoric on his Facebook. He was promoting a t-shirt company, selling t-shirts that said pandemic made in China, Kung Flu virus, etc. So, yeah. So this is the world we live in.
But you know who that started from?
Let me guess. I think we all know. We all know.
45.
Yeah. You can't even say that name without getting triggered, speaking of triggers.
Ex-president, former president.
But yeah, I think that this is a really important thing to talk about because I feel like we can't move past the problem of racism if the media, the police, and people in power are so quick to just want to sweep it under the rug. There's no room for discussion. No, it wasn't a racist issue, and that's it.
Well,
they don't want to have the conversation. You better not call me during my Facebook Live. How dare you?
Right now, who's calling?
Sorry, Mom.
Mama, she wanted to chime in literally.
Probably, but mom, you can chat.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
Yeah, just type it in. I'll read it out loud.
There you go.
Because otherwise the video will be interrupted.
I swear I had it on Do Not Disturb. I didn't realize that you can get a phone call during that. But anyway,
Yeah, something that makes me think of all this is this is not a situation that only attains Asian population. It really has to do with everybody, with all the colors of diversity, not only LGBT but also racial diversity, cultural diversity, because that could be us. When we had those caravans from Central America passing the border, people were attacking Hispanics. So this is not about a particularly Asian population. This is if we don't support them, eventually it will be on us for any other reason. So we have to support each other.
It's not just about minorities supporting each other, though. What you said, as beautiful as it is, and I agree with it 100%. White people need to support us and also deal with the facts of what's going on. Like, call your people off, you know what I mean? Like, do something about it, have these conversations. I saw on Facebook, NBC News, I think it was NBC News, posted on Facebook or Twitter or something. Maybe this incident will help the Asian community have a stronger allyship with the black community so they can support each other. And it's like, okay, I see that, but how about white people chime in on the conversation and take responsibility and try to end white supremacy and start having that conversation instead of leaving it up to the minorities to still be minorities. You know what I mean? Like, why don't we go for the root of the problem? Because I get what you're saying. And yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, this should give us all allyship, but not just amongst minorities and fellow minorities. Like, it's time for white people to take some responsibility and do something about it, because there's only so much that oppressed people can do. So those of you in power, you need to take control. You need to take action.
And the fact that we are part of a minority community doesn't mean that we are not, although we don't have internalized racism.
Oh yeah.
We don't have internalized homophobia.
Oh yeah.
I have internal homophobia myself, against myself, because of all the stories, all the rejection I grow with. That's my issue many times. So we're not talking about everyone has to address the situation.
Yeah.
Whites, as you said, minorities have to come together as well and not think, because this is not a time. It's not about me. Doesn't mean that you are not responsible. Just by not doing anything, by doing nothing, you are responsible.
Exactly.
We are responsible by not talking about it.
Yeah.
Now we are taking responsibility. Now I am informed. I wasn't as informed as you were. You are shocked by the situation. I just saw the news.
Yeah.
So now that makes me responsible for the situation, because now I know what is going on.
Yeah, and share the knowledge with others.
Exactly.
Which is what we're doing right here.
Exactly. And if you didn't know anything about it, go and watch the news, whatever news, but watch something and see what's going on and ask questions.
And talk to your friends, because sometimes the news doesn't. Like I was saying,
conversation.
American media is not reporting the full story. Like Ricky said, they were reporting that it's a lone wolf who wasn't racist at all. He just coincidentally shot 6 Asian women because, come on, really? The Korean media was actually reporting that from an eyewitness in one of the shootings, the shooter was actually screaming out, "I'm going to kill all Asians." But you're not going to see that in American media. But Korean media, this is what they're reporting. Again, from an eyewitness, a reliable
I
source.
have a feeling he didn't use the word Asian.
So, maybe they sugarcoated it in Korea. But yeah, this is a real thing that's going on. I have a friend who's Filipino descent, Michelle Castillo. I'm going to give you a shout out. She's a news reporter. She is doing a story about this, and she's looking for Asian American people that want to be interviewed on camera. So if you want to be interviewed on camera and you're Asian American, Asian descent, please let us know. I can put you in touch with them and you guys can chat. But I think this is a really important topic to raise awareness of. And I love what you brought up about internalized homophobia and racism. I think that can be a whole different topic all on its own, because I could talk about that for days.
We didn't think about it, but growing up with surrounded by comments that racist comments that we don't. It normalizes racism. It normalizes xenophobia, and as adults, we see it as, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be that way.
Correct.
So we have to think about what we think, to analyze ourselves sometimes and think, okay, maybe this is not normal. This shouldn't be normal. It shouldn't be normal.
It is normal, but it shouldn't be, and we can take steps in our everyday lives and the way we speak and the way we treat each other to make respect normal, to make unity normal, to make camaraderie normal. And we all have the power in us to do it. If one person at a time has an awakening and a revelation and realizes that the power is in them to do it, you get those group of people together and it's magic. It's a very powerful, beautiful thing. So with that said, I think we're running out of time. I think Ricky has one thing.
I do want to pull out the fact, because everyone's saying, oh, this is the first time we see something on the news, but we can see statistics that say hate crime is motivated by anti-Asian sentiment in New York City surged 1,900% in 2020, with only 1 instance reported in 2019 and 20 reported in 2020, according to NYPD. 1,900%. I don't even know how much that is. And these are only the ones that have been reported.
Too damn
Imagine how many have gone unreported.
So there has been an underlying racism towards Asians for a while now, and I think that the pandemic just really gave those racists an excuse to lash out. Personally, I think it's really stupid to blame all of Asia or all of China, but they're not blaming all of China, they're blaming all of Asia, the 48 countries that consist in Asia, because they can't tell the difference between Chinese and other Asian countries, so they're just lumping them all together. But I'm thinking to myself, this is going to sound kind of stupid, but I'm kind of, I'm a nerd. I love extraterrestrials and aliens and outer space and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, what if aliens came and they were like, oh, Earth is nasty because they have a disease, and this disease came from them, and then lumped us all together as humans and as Earthlings in a category. That's kind of what the Western world is doing to Asians. You're lumping them in a category, and it's like, we're all human. Like, we should all be here to help each other and support each other. You know what I mean? And it's
And there's also like other Asians in other ethnicities. Like, we call them Chino Latino, which there's a lot of Asians who moved to South America during, I believe it was World War II. And they're us. I know I have Japanese in my family.
Yeah, me too. I have Chinese in my family, and the early 1900s, there was a huge Chinese influx that came over and moved to Ecuador and Peru. It was the Japanese. Also, Brazil has a lot of Japanese descent people. Sao Paulo has the second largest Japanese population outside of Tokyo. Fun fact I learned in my travels there. And yeah, like you said, all over South and Central America. I don't know if Chile has a big Asian community, but yeah, they're everywhere. We're everywhere. We're all mixed in together, and it's a shame that we have to suffer. It's really stupid, guys. Come on, we're humans, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Unless anybody else has anything to say.
My intention here, what I'm about to say is to keep it in the understanding way of reality, of seeing reality and trying to be compassionate. These people who engage on violent actions against others is we can call it. Can be a stupid action, can be a silly action, a racist action, but also we have to understand that they also have issues. And so the only way we can change things is by understanding each other, not justifying each other, but understanding each other's circumstances and educating. So to break this racism, to break these thoughts, this violence, is to also trying to doing an effort to think, why is this person doing this? How this person got to the point to use a gun and start killing people? That's mental health. That's your background. That's what you have been hearing every single time from your circle, and then you take action. So let's think about that too. So we all have issues. And I just talk about my internal homophobia. I'm working on it, so that's the key. Identify it, think about it, and trying to work on it, so we can all are able to live in this community as neighbors, as people who love each other.
And there is support out there. If you can't find them, contact us. We can link you with support. We do
counseling.
Your support. Again, join us, MP Queens 19, empowerment groups, Mondays, where we can have these topics and really help educate each other, enlighten each other, be able to talk about our personal issues and share it with a group of people that are non-judgmental, that might also be sharing the same issues. You never know. So contact us. Let us know if you want to join. That is Mondays at 6:30 p.m. We'll be leaving a link right here. And as always, catch us Thursdays on Flame Time, on Facebook Live, Twitter, Instagram. Please add MP Queens and MP Queens 19. YouTube now. What's our YouTube account?
MP Queens.
MP Queens on YouTube.
It's Empowerment Queens.
Empowerment Queens.
No E, so just Empowerment.
The letter M and the word Powerment. Empowerment Queens. I gotta look for that. I haven't added that. Thank you so much for joining. I'm off to go get my second dose of the vaccine. The 3 weeks flew right by. I'm very excited. If you need help booking an appointment with the vaccine and you don't already know, how to do that, I do have a contact that can help you get same day, next day, or at the very least same week appointment if you are flexible with your schedule. So
We
contact
also
me.
have a contact here at
Oh
Yeah, and we
yes,
do-
I saw
yeah.
that. Well, how's that? Ugh. How's that work?
What?
The contact here.
The contact to what? What contact?
The contact that we have here.
Paula,
How
I
do
think her name
people
was-
get?
So just send me your information, put it in the comments, and I will email you how to get in contact with the vaccine lady. Let's call her the vaccine lady. We'll see.
We also conduct HIV testing for free.
Yes.
Monday through
Always.
Friday.
Yes.
We also we offer HIV counseling, safe sex counseling, and also counseling related to mental health, how to change behavior. We can talk.
Free
We're
condoms,
here.
free HIV testing, free PrEP,
Hepatitis
free
C
PrEP,
testing.
free Hep C.
Next week, we're going to start other STIs.
Wonderful. And we have new members that are doing drug and alcohol counseling. Is that right?
Yeah. We have 2 new members of our staff, and they're gonna start with a new program for substance use. And very soon we're gonna be giving the times and the days of their interventions.
Wonderful. So ACQC constantly growing and expanding to help better provide for the community, full of all kinds of free services. So contact Woodside. Woodside ACQC. You can Google us, 6207 Woodside Avenue. And as usual, thanks for tuning in. It was nice seeing everybody. Thank you, JC. Thank you, Ricky. And thank you, viewers. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.